Good day. Today we're going to cover COS2614 2023 Assessment 3 Question 1, and so far we've covered all the previous functions. We're now going to cover balance inquiry. Okay. Before I start, I'm going to add my disclaimer. These videos are created for visual learners like myself in order to learn COS2614. Please do not use these videos to cheat, as I do not condone cheating, neither do I condone breaking any laws, rules, or regulations. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and open up where we were last time, which was we were with the withdrawal. So now we're moving over to balance inquiry. So balance inquiry has two private member variables of type QDate, and the one is named m_from_date, and the other one is named m_toDate, and then it's got three functions, and the default constructor is balance inquiry. Then you've got your toString and your compute cost. Okay, I've read the question over in video 1, so I'm not going to reread the question. You can check that one out. We're going to go to File, New, saying C++ and C++ class. Click on Choose. The class name is Balance Inquiry. Okay, like that. I don't want to use any base class. I don't want any type information. I'm going to click on Next. Yes, I do want to add this to my existing project, Assessment 3_2023 Pro. So I click on Finish, and if we go here, I've now got a main, transaction, savings, deposit, withdrawal, and balance inquiry. Okay, so first we want to go and start working on our header file. Okay, so I go and create our header file. Remember, the first thing we need to do is include transactions. So let's go #include and our transaction H. Okay, and we've got that. Class balance inquiry. We're going to make that public of transaction. Okay, then we've got our balance inquiry. And as mentioned, our balance inquiry has some variables that need to be initialized. They're both of QDate. So we're going to start off here with QDate. Okay. And the first one is called FDate. Okay. And the second one of type QDate is called TDate. Okay. Just like that. Alright. The next one that we've got is of type QString. So we put the QString, and it's toString. So we've got our toString. We've got that, and that's going to be a constant. Okay. And then finally we've got a double, and that is called compute cost. There it is, compute cost. And that's also of type const. Okay, and we also have our private member variables. So that's the m_from_date and the m_toDate. m_from_date. Okay, we're forgetting our type, which is QDate. Okay, and that's that one. And we've got another QDate. So I'm just going to copy that, paste that down here, and we've got it toDate. toDate. Okay, that's our header file implementation. Now we're going to go to our actual implementation file. So we're including the balance inquiry H, and we don't have any fees associated with that. Thank goodness. This banking is wonderful, doesn't charge any fees for balance inquiries, although in South Africa they generally do anyway. let's go. Q date, and we got F date and Q date, T date. Okay. That's going to be from transaction, and we're going to call this transaction a balance inquiry. Balance inquiry. Okay. And then from balance inquiry, we've got a Q date time. Yeah, we want a Q date time. Can you add that for us? No. Q date time, and that is of type current date time. Okay. Then on top of that, balance inquiry. Nope, definitely is finished there, so we're going to the next one. It's finished on the transaction, so now we're going to our M from date. There, M from date, and we are defining that as our F date. Okay, and then our M underscore to date, and we are assigning that our F2 date, or T date, sorry, T date, like that. Okay, yeah, then we've got our open and our close brackets. Okay, then we're going to define our toString. So we've got our type, data type QString, balance inquiry, and we want toString, and we want to remember it's a const. Okay, and that we're going to return a QString with our placeholder, first placeholder. Okay, then our start date and our second placeholder, and our end date and our third placeholder. Okay, and then we're adding our arguments. First argument we're getting from transaction, and the transaction's toString function. Okay. Our second argument we're getting from the M from date. M from date, and we need to call the toString function, and we want to define it as our date, month, and the year. Okay, and then our third argument is the M to date, so the from and the to date, and we're calling the toString function, and we're wanting that to be in the format of date, month, year. Okay, now have I gone too far? Because I'm not, oh no, there's the extra bracket, so I'm just closing that, and then we are done on that one. And the final one is our double, balance inquiry, and I compute cost. There we go. Compute cost and const. And we're going to return 0.0 because there's no amount attached to balance inquiries. Alright, and so that's all for the balance inquiry. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to go and ask CODI to help us understand it. Please help me understand the following code. And I click on send. Now we just wait a little bit. Okay, so ChatGPT's, AskCodi seems to be experiencing some technical difficulties. So I've gone ahead to ChatGPT and I'm asking them the same question. Let's see if they can give us a good answer. Okay, this is quite a detailed one. This code snippet appears to be part of a C++ program that defines the implementation of a class called BalanceEnquiry. Let's break down the code and understand its functionality. Hashtag include BalanceEnquiry H. This line includes the header file BalanceEnquiry H, which presumably contains the declaration of the BalanceEnquiry class. BalanceEnquiry, the function, okay, the default constructor. This is the constructor definition for BalanceEnquiry class. It takes two parameters of type QDate, FDate, and TDate. The constructor initializes the BalanceEnquiry object using an initialization list. It also calls the constructor of the transaction base class with the arguments BalanceEnquiry and QDate time, current date time. Additionally, it initializes the mFromDate and the mToDate member variables with the values of fDate and tDate respectively. The function toString is a member function of the BalanceEnquiry class that returns a QString object. It overrides the base class transactions toString function. The function constructs a formatted string using the QString argument function to replace placeholders %1, %2, %3 with the results of the various function calls. The placeholders are replaced with the results of transaction toString, mFromDate toString with the date, month, year, and the mToDate toString, date, month, year, respectively. This function provides a textual representation of the BalanceEnquiry object. Okay. This function computeCost is a member function of the BalanceEnquiry class that returns a double value. It is implemented. In this implementation, it simply returns 0.0. It suggests that the BalanceEnquiry transaction does not involve any cost calculation. Overall, this code defines a constructor, toString, and computeCost functions for the BalanceEnquiry class. The BalanceEnquiry class appears to be a specialized type of transaction that provides information about the balance with a specified date range. So I hope that was helpful and informative. Thank you for watching this video, and all the best with COS2614. Thank you and goodbye.